builds, and he's trying to figure out, assess the situation. Can we get those revives, boots back up? But Pico, Feno, Flixie returning back to their throne. The first elimination's cleaned up. Coyote figures out a way to even the fight, even landing some crucial damage on the Flixie as he tries to run away. Coyote finishes the job. 2 straight knocks right off the start.
Top 10 players on leaderboard getting eliminated early on, and Pollo, Agers, Acorn, well, they're still looking to try and break into that in the first place. Agers gonna find the first elimination onto Wixie, and sure enough, Gentle Mates letting everyone know just how much they support seeing Pollo prosper as he continues trying to apply damage, trying to apply pressure. Alex nowhere left to run, just getting shot at from every direction. Presence in those aggressive instances.
Yeah, here's just that. We might have missed it, but Chino's gonna make sure we do not miss all the action. That was only his first elimination. We saw this one on the Gap Zeta, so he went back to back with a little bit of help from Fred. Pings and walks on this rotation.
Smart that they're not trying to overcommit. Talking about overcommitments, Chap sees FKS. They were trying to bring him back into the mix, but Jap's taking full advantage of the situation, just bragging out entirely. FKS, the secondary elimination there. Picks, but as a solo, what more can he do? He has to stay hidden. He has to conceal himself in the backside of the zone. For Stash, he's lost his IGL. He's lost his other fragger. It's Pollo who's taken out his fellow gentlemate. Swizzy eliminated. Agers gonna come at a cost, but the double revive, they might be able to pull it off. They're gonna drop all the way down to the bottom of the mountain face, but it was too far. They weren't intending to stand themselves directly outside of the zone pool. The zone pool is saving them.
That puts pain and hunger inside as Pix is now feeling that same pressure. He's gonna fall. Demas is being stuck by himself. He has to try to figure out a way out of this situation because they have no resources. Darm, they're separated just a little bit. No materials, and now the zone and somebody else moving in. But oh my, he does it again. Big Darm is gonna take down Pollo. It is wide open if Pixie, Marius, and Vanya can figure out a way to win this game with a certain number of eliminations. For one of the first times today, we could see a new first place team. But Taco, don't let me get too ahead of myself. 2 different games today. We saw them on high ground and they faltered. This could be third chance to charm.
But look at the amount of materials they have, Jacob. 85 builds, and that's just on Marius. They are so strongly overhead. The rest of the lobby collapsing into itself. It's cannibalizing itself underneath them. They hardly have to do anything at all. Just spray, suppress, while Pablo continuing to try and push through the storm sickness, tearing away at his back. He finally manages to get inside the zone, but they've been chopped. Pixie saves himself at the last second with the crash pad, but it's Kanata. He's going up. Marius trying to stop it. Marius brings down Bolts. There's no way he's gonna let this one slide away.
The win in itself is not enough for them to take first. I said they need a certain number of eliminations. Well, that's one step further, but taking that top spot, and now the pressure continues. Rapid scrambling around. He has very little builds. Kanata, he is out. Not a single material left. The splashes are running out as well. Pings from M8 trying to make a miracle run continue. 373 points. It is on him for the solo clutch to pick up these points.
Queasy's just a fan of everybody else in this lobby right now. He needs someone to take out height. He needs to see Vanya Boo Boo fall from the top of it all, but Clicks still trying to heal backside his zone. He's got nothing left. Storm's gonna take care of him. Vanya, Pixie, and Marius, though, refuse to budge. They're not gonna let this one slip through their fingers. For Queasy, it's like grabbing at smoke, watching this lobby try to take them down. Muzz and Shadow still giving some hope. They are a fully intact trio.
There's only 3 full trios left in this game. Shadow, Sphinx, and Muzz are one of them, but they're getting pressured on the other side, on the low ground by King Phaser. P8's in. They're trying to run around, take priority on the zone. They have beaten Muzz up this hill, but they're focusing on the high ground. They ran out of build. It's all turning sideways. Down goes P8's in. King is scrambling. He's able to get one, but it's not enough. 3v3. The eventuality comes in. Marius is dropping down. He wants to finish the fight, but he's going to go down. Vanya trying to stay up. 2 different medkits. 2 splashes left, and it's a 1v3 situation.
Muzz, Sphinx, and Shadow might have just done it. All they have to do is remain fully intact. Vanya's still from up above. He's got a couple of chug splashes. He's got a couple of medkits. This might be our first heal up that we are
region champion Muzz showing up big, and the young star.
We're still fighting for third place right now, but we know how the fights early game are going on. It's all about Rangers ruin.
And Tayson, gonna be the first touchdown, grabs the chest. Chino running around, but nowhere left to run. Pablo, though, with the sweeper finds Tayson. It's gonna be Chicho brought down next by Ferdoxy. 2 versus 1 scenario, but Atris has a real chance. Atris takes out Pablo. It's all down to the 1v1, and Ferdoxy immediately heading for the high ground. Doesn't want to get trapped with the swarm, but that separation, he hasn't had a chance to utilize his shield potion just yet. Atris, on the other hand, wrapping around, taking out, stopping Fred in the midst of healing. But Atris, he just can't close the gap. He doesn't have any materials. Ferdoxy doesn't have a whole lot left to work with either, but he has the build in his favor. And Atris, he'll opt to try and trade, but it's the patented Fred lurk, and he's creeping up. Atris can't get the revive. Ferdoxy through the window, and Atris still can't find it.
He got multiple pieces through that wall, and even the cone inside. He's trying to distract him long enough while he backtracks and tries to go revive for revive. So no longer going to be a 1v1. Tayson and Pablo are back into the game, but business as usual. Kazi, Tinka, and Aspect are looking to third party this fight.
Oh my gosh, it's the same story over and over. The hesitation comes in, right? The elongated fight. We're still in a 2v2. We know the third party's gonna come in, but if you take a look at the map, there's only one orange arrow. Maybe the full commit has not come in just yet. We'll have to see how this one plays out.
It's almost like sending in the lone scout to try and figure out, is this really worth getting involved with just yet? But Tayson, Atris, they've got such an advantage now over Pablo and Ferdoxy. Their HP rapidly dwindling away here as Tayson now just waiting for that final opportunity, but without a shotgun, he doesn't feel confident enough, and for good reason, because one good bump shot could be the end of it. Ferdoxy's gonna opt to try and get away, but Atris just too accurate. Atris immediately panning the other direction, and that'll be the end of Ferdoxy's team. I want to land on them, I want to challenge it, and it's not as direct, but it's still there.
Jacob, this is a strategy. They know they land OXR. They're waiting on top of the mountain. They want to rain down the shots as they fly through the sky.
They crack the shields onto one. There's just so much distance before he reaches the ground. He's out of render distance overall. Instantly comes the crash pad. Mustache, Swizzy, they're trying to rotate in that direction. Finally, they get another opportunity, and it works. Vanya goes down. Mustache, Swizzy, and Queasy are going after second place.
But what's gonna be there faster? The double revive or Swizzy, Mustache, and Queasy? They're doing everything they can to try and collapse onto this position. Vanya's already been back up into the running, but they're going all in here. Swizzy, Queasy, Mustache, they're looking to control their own destiny. They want to take down Vanya. They want to make it so that game 12 isn't even close. But Mustache, Queasy, Swizzy, they're just not able to close the gap. And Mustache, he's lost too much HP. He's going to be forced to fall back.
This is it. This is the moment. Why wait till game 12? Marius, Pixie, and Vanya, they've given an opportunity here to take down first place and potentially take that spot. Few points separate them, and Swizzy's probably realizing their backs are up against the wall, maybe even second guessing this decision to go ahead and try to surprise attack them. But they have the low ground. Marius, Pixie, Vanya, they have the high ground, and since they do have that, they have the decision to hold and pressure them down below or rotate out like you see here.
No risk, no story though, and Marius a little bit split apart here. Mustache, Quizzy, Swizzy, they're still chasing them all the way down to the bird to go. These guys are full on fighting inside of the storm. It's early zone tick, so they don't have to worry too heavily, but it's the storm sickness, Jacob. Both of these teams are delaying their own endgame.
It's something that we saw come into play in that last game, the storm sickness, getting chunks of HP ripped off in the end game, but they're continuing to go. They want to chase this one down, but Pixie on the other side, he's the most elevated. Vanya, he's on the low ground trying to heal the best that he can, but so Pixie is making sure to defensively hold that high ground. Marius as well, Flowberry Fizz, just make sure to top off the shields. That way they can force them down further and further. They continuously are getting chased, but you say, you know what? You want to fight? Come get it.
They're throwing everything at this one. The inventory, all of the heals, they're disappearing. Marius is becoming fully aware that the investment is soon becoming not worth it. How aggressive they're gonna get. They're coming right box to box, wall to wall right now.
But think about the biggest differences here. Queasy's team, they're not actually carrying shotguns. All they have is the Wrecker revolvers in comparison to Marius, who's rocking both. But it's a great a Sentinel at best, and that Wrecker Revolver just not able to get close enough. Pixie, Vanya, Marius essentially at a standstill right now with Queasy.
They have the majority of the heals. You already see the slurp juice in the inventory, med kits being used. Essentially almost 200 HP and shields combined between these two, so they do have a little bit more of an upper hand. And I think Marius knows they're running out of HP resources to keep this fight going longer, so they are definitely now officially on the clock this deep in the zone, and it's only the fourth one overall. Merstash and them still have splashes underneath. Vanya's dropping, almost gets boxed up. Merstash has his head on a swivel, continuously turning around, but Taco talked about the double pump, and there it is in action. Marius is able to get the knock onto one, but he gets dropped to 30 HP. They desperately need the siphon, but oh no! Disaster strikes! Pixie is now the last one alive! Merstash and Swizzy, they lose Queasy, but it's only a knock. He's quickly going for the revive. A miracle in the making as Pixie falls!
They got all three! That's all that they needed! The space has been created, but now they have to capitalize on it. It's one thing to take them out, it's another to keep building on the lead overall. Queasy, Merstash, and Swizzy, this game has just begun.
Insane scenes here. Two top teams from EU fighting. Now it's NA's chance as Peterbot, Ritual, and Cold end that fight as soon as we turn in, and he's using his own emote on him, Showboat, and said, hey, you might be ahead of us on the leaderboard, but we know who's the king.
But just above them on the other side of this mountain face, Kanata, Rapid, Bolts, they see the crash pad. Merstash, he's been clipped. Merstash is brought down. Swizzy also incredibly low. They're going to be forced to drop all the way down. That height security that they were once hoping for has been completely lost here. Queasy, the healthiest member of his team, but he's got nobody next to him. He can't get close to Swizzy.
And that's that investment. What goes around comes around. If you want to sit and storm and fight between first and second place, you want that one to be drawn out. You want to invest everything you have into it. Once you realize that you got to make one of these rotations all the way up the mountain, all of these aimers kind of paying attention to you, you realize quickly you don't have what it takes to survive in this lobby.
Oh my, second, third, and fourth. I talked about them being out. And now fifth place has just lost their IGL and Rapid, and it's Queasy and Swizzy that are doing the majority of that damage as they try to make their way into the zone.
But Queasy can't get down. He has no mats. They were all on Swizzy and Merstash. They hadn't had a chance to actually drop any of their materials. He does see a crash pad. He's trying to bring Swizzy up with him, and now Swizzy manages to connect. What a brilliant play from Queasy. Most players would have probably taken that for themselves, but he said, nah, you're coming back up here with me.
Did they get enough to move into the top four? But Peterbot now battling for it all, and he is by himself. Cold and Ritual are all down below, and he's done it. He's gotten the high ground. He's gotten an elimination. Here he is. He's finally woken up from his slumber, and he's continuing to pressure down and stealing the high ground away. He joins Ritual and Cold on the other side and takes what's theirs.
Yesterday, Peterbot said, it's my day off, but today, it's a whole new beast coming alive here in the final hour.
Cold, Ritual, and Peterbot, they're forced scrambling around, figuring out a way to reunite. The Flowberry Fizz does come out. That's Tisco, that's Striker, that's Kadu. They've taken down NA's best, but it's only for so long. Revenge comes in, and it comes in quick. Cold gets it down onto one. No siphon just yet. He needs to buy time. No extra builds, and he's facing Reason on the other side. But high ground disrupts the foe. Down they go. 3v3 here for the end game. Kami, Hadi, that's relatively loose because Eyedrop is down. Kadu, Striker, and Tisco, they could take it all.
And this is what the international scene has needed all weekend long, but no, Kami, Hadi, Kami's not gonna be able to make it through. It's only Tisco, Striker, and Kadu left to deal with Hadi, but Hadi, he'll be forced to charge forward. He tries to head towards the high ground, but he just doesn't have the HP. Tisco just needs one more shot, and he finds it. That's gonna be the first victory royale here this weekend for an international scene.
The Brazilian region is on top. They've showed up. They've reached the top 10 in the leaderboard with a whole nother trio, and this is their chance to shine bright. Frankie, we need to know what they're thinking.
Vanya's game plan for his team, but Vico, a little bit of off-spawn domination taking place here. He's got a big elimination onto Yuma. Blixie and Beto are not with him, though. Coyota still looking to chase Vico out, and Vico nearly gets
yet again. Victor V, that's like his second time or even more in this tournament, taking down Pete himself. Even with Ritual back, a sliver of HP, forcing out the splashes. Cold and him have to reunite and figure out a way to get their teammate back.
Victor V might be the real Peter Bot counter. Now that he's on 0 ping, people forget Victor V, when he's playing on West, he's tackling on 60 ping. So now we're getting to watch an elite young fragger on the come up. So excited to see where this goes next, because even though the weekend hasn't necessarily shaped up to the position they wanted to be in, they've still got a lot of fight left in them.
That's kind of how they have, bro. He just trying to fire off. He's just hoping that his aim is better than the distance they can cover, but no, fall damage. Have time here to let every other team pass them on the zone and fight each other.
Victor V just picking up where he left off. Unfortunately, Ritual just not healthy enough to stay on both of his feet. He's just gonna be tackled. It's only Cold left alive from that trio, and now Victor V, he'll have the opportunity to heal. But not only that, 4 eliminations, it's so much surge, and Jacob, realistically, Epic, he's trying to help make the calls alongside Paper. They still want to keep pushing forward, but Ryu, he's gonna bring down Epic Will. Victor V now looking to give a little bit of backup here to a support player, but Victor V, he's stuck in a 1 versus 2 situation. They're trying to close in onto the primary fragger here, but Victor V, Pop's got to be going crazy, watching his son pop off in the crowd.
Without any builds, I'm not too worried. He does have that medallion, the double jump. It also negates fall damage as he quickly reunites with Paper on the other side. That's what they're going to start thinking about, how many builds that they have, what do they need to get, but they don't have time. They're immediately getting jumped on 1v3, multiple angles. Victor V still making plays, slides out of those builds. Paper still stuck. He's still trying to figure out an answer to the onslaught that's thrown his way. He continues to fight back. Ryu, though, almost full HP when it comes to the shield as well. Paper, no knock. Victor V is down. The full trio is out of here.
And Higgs clicks. They're just so exposed. Holding my breath watching this, Jacob, because I know it's only a matter of time before the 3-2-1 comes through, but Higgs, he nearly puts up the defense, but it's just not enough. Higgs is gonna be knocked, clicks, scattered, left to try and fend for himself, but with 3 healthy players out of EU's powerhouse, they'll be put down, and clicks eliminated. Gino, Pablo, and Ferdoxy hit their first double digit. Do whatever you want, just find those eliminations.
Up there it goes, School. Trying to drop down low. He's the first one to get knocked. Sauko followed in that trend. He was trying to be a hero, but ends up a 0, leaving Arc all by himself. And the time is truly running out. They have to make sure Queasy, Mustache, and Swizzy somehow go down outside of the top 8 as they continue to move through. It's becoming more and more impossible. There's 600 plus damage above the threshold. They're looking down to the backside of the zone, trying to figure out where the weakness is for any of these trios trying to rotate in. Even with Kanata down below, they're lurking, no visual audios. But if you look at the sky, that's Marius, Vanya, and Pixie. But they lose Vanya throughout this mix. They're on that middle ground where all the chaos ensues.
Vanya just barely managing to start to get his life back up to a healthy level. Swizzy, Mustache, Queasy though, they see the high ground. They're starting to go for the chop. Malibuca gonna be forced to drop eventually, but can Malibuca even get down in the first place? I don't think so. He's a victim of the lobby now. Swizzy, Queasy, they don't hesitate. They're immediately surging upwards. They know height domination is where the thrill will be tested.
On the high ground right now, they're getting challenged, but they're fighting for it all. It's Pixie, it's Marius, and Vanya. If they want the win, this is the moment right here. Swizzy goes down. Mustache has fallen. It is all up to Queasy and Taco. There are more than enough points still left on the board for them to overtake the first place spot, but they have to survive. Vanya goes down. Marius is gonna have to pop that slurp juice and reunite with Pixie.
But where's Queasy? Pixie and Marius, they're so incredibly low. They're not gonna be able to save Vanya. They'll at least get everything that he had to offer at the final moments. But Marius, Pixie, as a duo, they've got to find Queasy. They don't know where he's gone off to. Seti in the low ground. If Marius and Pixie aren't careful, they might run smack dab into the center of where all the congestion is building at. But they're crash padding up. They're trying to get back on the height. They know what is in front of them, and they want to take it by force.
They already have second place locked in. It's all or as well. Pixie with the pressure on his shoulders. You got to remember, though, Queasy is down. They are 50 points shy. He needs to win, but he gets denied. Mustache, Queasy, and Swizzy have done it.
It was the final moment. It was going to be so bittersweet, no matter the outcome for the gentle mates here, Jacob. But Queasy has finally overcome. The GOAT debate has been settled. He is the GOAT of Fortnite when it comes to IGLing and as a player in general. And he's got two GOATs with him in Swizzy and Mustache.
But there's still hundreds of thousands of dollars split between these teams still left alive. A good chunk of them at the top of the leaderboard, including Pablo, who's trying to have that solo run, but that one gets ended and rather quickly as he was by himself. Now it's Seti and Yapko. They're one of 3 teams left alive. Panzer's trying to move in, 20 HP. He's quickly running out of builds. Seti as well, but he's gonna go out. Cammy, his invitational partner, has done it again. He ends his show. He said, no, you will not pass me. You will not take my money, as Cooper and Curly are still down below. 2v3 situation, 3v1. I drop Dari and Cammy win the final game of the day.
What an impossibly crazy finish. Nobody could have possibly anticipated that it would all come down to this final match in day one. We saw Queasy, Swizzy, and Mustache leading the charge. They had such a monumental lead over the entirety of the lobby, but it still all came down to the wire. They knew it was a marathon from the get-go, but they sprinted across the finish line to claim the title as your 2025 global champions.
A year-long journey just to get to this point. 12 games, almost 700 points, 3 victory royales. They have done it.
It almost seems as if it hasn't even fully keyed in yet. Mustache and Swizzy